Listen, yeah, way, winning way.
Me a typical Kumasi boy. Nti patas had a mini. Nti me we in everyone secondary school. Then I came back and I wanted to do journalism badly.
Oh, dear, name inspire. Now,
Um,
in journalist be.
the biggest motivation, to be honest with you, was two people. Jerry Rollins. I
The
loved.
president then.
Yes.
Then Herbert Mensa, me. What can I say to you? Herbert Mensa is never wrong. See, this was DJ Herbert. Oh, how did you meet him? And a year then that just Herbert Mensa was your God on earth. What happened?
Um, I didn't see this question coming. To be honest with you,
Hey, Masa.
I didn't see it coming. I never imagined.
Yes, see, December media and official is in order and official because and then my guest me who know it's over 10 years or your colleague yeah you free a long way they do 10 years it's because you can 5 years na yeah saba because you mean and said that massive papa it's also because you mean so very principled but he is a brother. Now I am sure what the pa on your airwaves any screens. And then my guest a Listowel yes book us. Okay no. Capital Radio, Kotoko. Any the Kenyina at a point he was also the Ashanti chair of the Ghana Journalists Association. And on a minute seen kunya. Na ye bon komo. He's on holidays. And it's such a privilege and an honor sɛ manya no na me ne no bɛbɔ nkɔmmɔ wɔ Asetena Pa so. Mekae wo sɛ Asetena Pa is proudly sponsored by Veronica It Kumasi de Nyame. Christmas yi, wopɛ baabi a wo ne w'adɔfoɔ bɛkɔ akɔdidi, mobɛkɔ akɔgye mo ani, baabi a mopɛ sɛ abusua no mokɔda, home away from home, ɛyɛ Veronica It. Frɛ 020 036 9876. Na Ancora Homes so wɔboaboa sika no ɛpɛ baabi uti ato ɛwɔ Ghana ɛwɔ Kumasi deɛ Ancora Homes yɛtɔn adan 3 bedroom 4 bedroom 5 bedroom townhouses ɛwɔ IPG ɛso yɛ boa 0530217766 ɛraba kwenkwen bi di Listowel kwenkwen ka mefie bɛɛ deɛ wɔ hɔ but metua ɔpɛ aduane yɛ dɛ na yɛ kama local dish bia Christmas yi bi a wuni adagye a wɔde bɛyɛ nnuane ahyɛ fridge mu but o expect ahoho a ɛne ɛfrɛ yɛn 0244 606 500 yɛnyɛ stew soup ɛnam ahodoɔ mfɔho na yɛmfa mɛhyɛ fridge mu kwenkwen jollof plain rice deɛ wopɛ biara hyetɔ na kyɛ sɛ moodi ne nkakra nkakra Angel Rock Mixture Dr. Kwaku ɔte se bɛrima a wohia sɛ wofa lawyer wɔ mpam no wo lawyer a wobɛtumi aka ama wo yie ɛyɛ Angel Rock Mixture etufoɔ nkɔkoro nom abo hia Listen Kofi Yesu afisiaba
Think
afisa sɛ ne nkwa ne ahoɔden wɔ hɔ saa na cash no na wo ma bi
Amen. When you said this month, I'm a bet month.
20 feet. Say we Yesu, we Yesu. And no thing do to Yesu now.
That's right.
Do you 25th
December.
Okay. Okay, yeah, the every birthday or I bet you can't share me. Wow, wom send the net ye. Yeah, way. Winnie new way. Na yem famra. Asetena Pa de say different. Asase any eko. Ah, it catch every moment.
Eunice Mame, and I was for the opportunity to be on your show. Na interviews you when I was me say I'm reminiscing the past.
Yes.
Mame kai those days because of Omo Adomo Basho. Na Mame kai days trying to survive on the wings of radio and the media. And Mebo Abaso for this program. Na may you continue to do good on this program.
Thank you.
Now, to answer your question, me a typical Kumasi boy. So would you want to be on the free? Me even on social media, I tell everybody that I'm a proud Sandema boy. I don't hide it from nobody.
Yeah.
But my parents settled in Kumasi.
Okay.
Now I'm a police officer or police depot.
Patase
here.
Okay.
Nti Patase na me. I was born here in Kumasi, Konfanoche.
Okay.
Because school or not preparatory. Those days, there was this time and international schools never ban. Preparatory school was at Patase Estate, already.
Yeah.
It's no more.
Okay.
When I started school, and from there about KSTS. Patase experimental.
Okay.
And to me, Kohawk crown for that was around the late 80s.
Okay.
And Enumuna na police, for instance, my daddy got transferred. And he called all the way back to the north.
Okay,
to Sandema.
Sandema, Yadimuko, Papa Crew. Is a Crew Mancasa. Okay.
Because he wanted to.
Okay.
They want to go back. Because there was a trick. So, or retire or ha in the force, be it the army, the police, whatever it is. One now be more than a more retire no more starting arrangements to go home.
Okay.
In that case,
police card I don't
police card I don't know.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, so that was a trick. And the all be retire no yeah. So then we should go back to Sandema. And the
how many were you, Nemano?
My father had 2 wives.
Okay.
So there are 8 of us.
Okay.
But we kind of
bonded
that much, and you can't tell the difference. You just can't tell what the difference.
Okay.
In the course Sandemano, and I call Aita Primary School.
Okay.
Aita no you're one of the kings to the paramountcy in Sandema. We are sure that they are popular to everybody here as Antilo.
Yeah.
But your Aita, your Azantilo, your Anankom, your Afoko,
your
Abakisi.
Okay.
So those are the 5 kings.
So minimum Afoko na minimum
Azantilo. That's the most popular ones. But there are those 5 ones.
Okay.
And there's a way they go about the first way, the next friend saying kin to the paramount or the skin.
Okay.
And to me call Aita Primary School. In fact, time I me free not prepared. Number was stage 4, I think. We could do Sandman call Aita no. Yeah, exams to
send entrance exams.
Yeah, to be sure say you are good for class. I also want to. And me interview, the teachers found I was reasonably smarter than the class 4, which is why I was here. And they call class 6.
Okay.
From 4 to 6.
And those times yes, you jump hill.
I jump hill. I was saying third term. It's now class 6 or 8 primary. And when I made the call, the term I made the call Form 1 those days, and I made a late entrance.
Okay.
And
now call SS.
My call SS because me jump over 4.
Okay.
And from class 6, I did the common entrance from class 6, and I did call San Masek.
Okay.
From
that 1. Time near O level.
Near O level.
Okay.
So me call normal idea no dia. I would have gone to either JSS and then to go to SSS. But me jump over like 5, 6 years, 4, 5 years. So me call could be old friend system.
Common entrance.
And I'm the call San Masek Tech. But yes, San Masek Tech we and I'm the corner of secondary.
Okay.
And then they continue.
Now course Tech I call Navrungu. For A level.
For A level.
To call Navrungu for A level.
Navrungu secondary.
Okay. 2 year O level or Sandema Tech. Now call A level or Navrungu.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Right.
And now ufri hono. And o saba kumase.
Back kumase. Those days not many thing because life was tough.
Ada asesa. No idea they was some more thing. Let's Kuma would actually be a friend. Chinchina trying. That's Listowel for you.
Those days, not many day, but I was not not me raw, so to speak. But now I'm already finding the kakra.
Okay.
I've added some diplomacies to it to try to survive the time. And once in Sandema those days, life was tough. It was difficult every day. And I say, Umwana afaka na maba. Kona my sisters, big sisters no. Kumasi. And then my brother and my sisters were here. Nti mo wano abeshimwa na abeya adwena no my year shopping my na me de call. Nti na me nan ye ntientia ewo Kumasi. Nti me we na Bremo secondary school. Then I came back and I wanted to do journalism badly.
Oh, dear inspire. Now in journalist be.
One, your class in Sandmas Tech Form 1, there was this guy called Gregory Apik.
Okay.
Now the sister, a journalist.
Okay.
One of these Apik guys. I've forgotten the full name. Until one day near introduction, no, can't say sister be a journalist and she was working with the JBC and all that. I'm like, I know quite idea. You know, so many bahon say idea. So I started reading stuff, and I like to read graphic newspapers and all that those days. But the biggest motivation, to be honest with you, was two people.
Okay.
Jerry Rawlings.
Okay.
I loved
the president then.
Yes, I loved to listen to him on TV. I didn't even understand what politics was all about. But 70s or Kasa or TVs were, I kind of, now I attracted to him.
Me cried the Osaka tree and the broken tree, the tree na
me TV who say.
Now Treasure Rawlings.
Until about 7, I will be there to just go and
he was him. Always on.
Always on. And to me, I love his confidence. I love his spirit. I love his character and charisma and his drive. And on the broad I loved it. One of my ass, I think of money paper or more interview or more Kobe. How can I get there? You know, and then from there, I love to listen to the Kufuor.
Okay.
So much. Because I mean, Obi Kufuor. Now I get attracted to the person. And some time back, I could buy a glass. I want one. I had one. I bought one. Old pictures you see me just because I loved to listen to
no inspires.
And to me buy Kumasi no. But one day, let me tell GBC radio. In those days, not radio name also. And one day, and Obi, I saw an advert about IBM and J.
Okay.
Kumasi, Sika said we school was a problem to say you are going to go to GIJ and all of those. And when I had that option of a window, and I'm like, no, let me grab it. And my sister.
This was babe.
This was, I think, 95, 96, 97, thereabout. 96, because then the lady me into radio. So it was 95, 96, thereabout. And I quickly told my sisters, and my sisters, all of them went to Europe. And I'm a friend, my sister friend, no more friend. Those are your phone is one even no. Until you about who fee. Until over time, you're the best friend. The time this one I got na phone because you don't want to miss it. And my sister friend, I'm catching so many school be also me go and find. Long story short, they paid for my admission and everything. I'm starting here. And when I went to IBM and J that time
now in Kufuor.
When I went there that time, I had a bigger motivation. The bigger motivation was when I realized Nana Hayford was my mate.
Okay.
She
was already on radio.
Yeah, she was on the tech. Not Nana Hayford on tech. And a Kate, na Magic Sam.
Okay.
Until they became my mate. Until the pride and the joy of sitting in the classroom,
in the same classroom
with these stars that I wanted to be a part of, because they were on the tech. All of them were on the tech that time. It's Nana Bay very close, and then Nana Kate, and then Magic Sam. They were on radio at the time, and they kind of inspired me the more to want to get to where.
And what now she a Hayford?
I want to be share Hayford. Hayford so by school auntie. That's why I met him. And
the troublesome deal.
IBM and J. And you school, you school no, and your friend said Comnando. If you remember Comnando, that time he was the editor for Weekend Chronicle.
Okay.
And then later on he became the spokesperson to the secretary to Jerry Rawlings before my Comnando. He was in the office of the late first lady, former first lady. Into Comnando now no edited Weekend Chronicle at the time.
Okay.
Now, along the line, for one reason or the other, I found myself at ICGC.
Okay.
Before we started ICGC in Ashanti region, and you had a movie called KTI. And we called KTI, and another was this Pastor Frank. He's in the US now.
Okay.
And this year he didn't come on me joining ICGC drama group, you know, sorry anymore and all that. So only this year we became closer to the pastor then because then she had drama for you know. Until one day he found out where I was going to school and what I wanted to do. And also, Adam Phobia, I found the Animal Ashon. I remember that name.
Yeah.
Now, Animal person was setting up, he was an editor then. And he wanted to set up a newspaper, which is called the New Dawn. Okay. So I make a show, 1937, the New Dawn newspaper. So he introduced me to Animal Ashon. And then Animal said, okay, so we could. So I started writing. So you win him that time I was Pioneer. You now were Pioneer. You were the guys running the Pioneer show that time. And I got my first story published on the New Dawn. I'm like, a big guy. You know, I was so happy. And then 1, 2 stories. And another scoop. And I'm called PMP that time. So before I knew I had a byline. Those days since the PMP was the thing.
Yeah,
hot. Now after that, I was becoming that kind of confident and all that. And then somebody introduced me to Commando Weekend Chronicle. Okay. Then I found a story and a buy. So I started getting excited. Said, no, I'm getting there. That time, to get a byline was a big thing. Because
your story will compete with a lot of stories well written near there.
It was a big thing.
Yeah.
It was huge. So what I did those days was to kind of get exclusives. For those ones will give you the competitive edge.
Compel them
to use it. Fast forward, the same ICG Nana Mekono, Trinity Temple. Here we are so.
Maybe I hear wedding.
We am here wedding. There was this guy, Nana Kojoba for the brother name from Pomanso. Now Oka drama group no.
Okay.
Into one day I call drama no say, Charlie station be bow no more but my friend test transmission. And I'm saying, Nana. I say, yes, station be bow. And I send you see a drama and call once I'm excited. No, I should give it a shot. I'm so okay. Lo and behold, that started my story.
That was Invisible.
Capital.
That
was Capital.
Because I call Mercury as an Ava Capital.
Mercury was when I was in school at IBM and J.
Okay.
And I was doing internship there.
Oh, Mercury.
And I'm really called Mercury because she had chemicals, no money. Friend is Big Shark, no money.
Okay.
The late Big Shark, no money.
And there was this Liberian.
Amos Gibson.
Amos Gibson.
Yeah. Amos Gibson, Barbara Riley, and those guys from Liberia. Those days on by, you know, they were mates. So I remember all of them vividly, as if it's just playing out yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. So, almost started Capital. Now.
Yeah.
That was 1st July 1997.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Capital started with the test transmission. In fact, I was the first officially employed news reporter of Capital. Because
who was the editor?
Sambo Saban, the late Sambo Saban.
Oh, until Mr. Saban started right from the beginning.
Yes, Capital started. There was this person who started, on your journalist. They didn't have a full-fledged newsroom. And Sambo Saban was retiring from GBC, and he was poached. Befia Painting. Graphic. Now, one of the board members of Capital.
Okay.
Until when they set up the station and they were recruiting, they eventually poached Mr. Aban because of the Capital star, Finching, brought full life, you know. So they brought him from Accra instead of he going to stay at Anomabo where he hailed from, and they started recruitment. It's advert now. I virtually walked those days, considering the tight 10 times from tech to go to Capital. And I could submit my application. I got there, the security won't even allow me in because then who are you to come here? You know, those days, Namidiko and me I'm a telephone, and a telephone is call. In fact, my brother's wife, with whom I lived, answered the call. So station be from almost what the application be banty interview. So we lined up. Befia Painting was there. Mrs. Ajman was there, Mrs. Hansen was there. A few of the board members I remember are these ones. And there were other people there in a very refined, form to try to get the best at the time. And it cost no pa. It started here. It's now Kofi Akpalu. Now on a accountant. Yeah. For some reason we became friends because Claudia became friends with me, the wife. They started interviewing from an apartment. They did a short list and all that. Mante Capital Fonka, not the station hadn't started, it was just test transmitting, so it was the DJs and the presenters. One day I went to the post office and Mrs. Ajimai. The thing that stuck with her was Yesu. Listowel name wasn't that common, so it was Yesu. And I met her by accident, and she was like, Yesu, what to say? And Mr. Gume, so who you say, now we there were her, I'm soon be checking my brother mail, at the post office. And now Obihan Freo from the station. I'm saying, man, Pacho there be. And I say, you need to be at the newsroom. And it's over to me, right from here at the post office.
You can go
over to me, the newsroom. Kodine SH, Papa Penimi Hall with the gray hair, that was his signature. And he catch and say, Mr. Omrami Huna, your people from the interviews. I walked from post office to get to Capital. And then when I went, because we're not old boy to her. And me catch and says, no, so chance. That's how the Capital story started from the newsroom.
Okay. Yeah. It's a Honor Hayford. And who else was in the newsroom?
It was me and Hayford, but Yahoo came later. He came later.
Okay.
He came later. But you see, we got two Hayford in the newsroom because he was also doing internship at Capital when I was doing mine at Radio Mercury.
Okay. No,
Mr. Ban, few months.
Okay.
Then I went to meet him there.
And you were employed and now recruited as a news writer, a reporter.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as
it's a big thing. As a news reporter, those days, not me yet normal be brave, including, in fact, the first person who made me do sport on radio was Darishan, the late Darishan. When I know your morning show, Superchargers, okay, those days. Yeah. And now he was segmenting the program. Daybreak Capital. He was doing segmentation of the program. And now, Sports Check. The first sports program we did ever on Capital was Sports Check. Okay. Apart from the main sports program, which Yabuafu, the immediate past.
Yabuafu, Dr. Asafweje, Dr. Kwame. Onye late to Asafweje is there.
No, Asafweje is there.
Yeah.
No, he came later. It was Yabuafu who was the host. It was JB, formerly the head of Jofel.
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry Dankwa.
And Kwame Siedu.
No, they came later. They came later. The original guys were Yabuafu, Lawyer Yabuafu, great JB, guy, smart guy, intelligent guy. Kwame Ofori-Pregu. He was doing action points. Yes. By that time, so it was Yabuafu, it was JB, it was is it Edwin? Now it was CPC. He's the late CPC. Ewasafo. That are now CPC. Yeah.
Mr. Japan man.
Yes. He was part of the team. And Sana, Dr. Safoje, he came later. All the other guys came later. So those were the core guys.
Okay.
Until the morning sports was created by Darishan. And then he found me for whatever reason worthy, to do it, because then Oba news was like, represent BS sports. News from pest sports into me ban my newspapers. Okay, those days, no. How much 4, 5 near Bamuho Pioneer. Near newspapers. They are called transcribe it. Yeah, they easy.
And then they say journalism.
They are transcribing, but now she newsroom by 4:35 a.m. Those days. Now we share their mind here, transcribe. Now all that. It's me, I'm a truck a crab, be shop Pioneer. my year sports kakra, my share graphic, my share times, my share all the national idea, no my chocho kakra, no my co-present on this on the morning show. Before that, it was Magic Sam who made me do entertainment. On the drive time. He was in the drive time before Kwasi took over. But way before I got into radio, I had started doing radio. I was Contato. There's this guy who is called Socrates. I have forgotten his actual name. He put me on radio first. I was Contato, KNUST, because I'm a T-Bank, and he was an ICGC member, so he took me there to do it. So that was my first appearance on radio. Until from newsroom, I got into doing sports because of Daryl Shen on Capital. Then again, because Magic Sam started me on the drive time. That's how I started doing sports. Until at one point, I started producing the sports programs for Yao. Lawyer, he will go to work. JB, only time. CPC, only time. All the guys got busy. Until before they would come to the station to start, now my production at home. I do all the league fixtures, all the matches. Those are near foreign sports. There was some time and Joe Lakai and Co who started Fox, almost started foreign sport. You can always credit sometime and Joe Lakai, the Fox Sports team, for introducing the foreign sports. They made it happen. You know, now straight about league matches na other resort Division 1. Yeah, more be debate na be phone lines. That's how we were doing the sports that time. And so that's how I came into sports journalism. Then one time, na your friend say, "On to me, ma." In fact, it was late. The time of it was late. And Nanofori, you remember Nanofori? He was the programs manager then. He's the late too. He's late too. And I was say, yeah, our first on to me, ma. I should go and do the sports program because me and I produce you, so I know the stuff. So, and then I went to do it, and I think they liked it. And anytime you only hobby, I know. Now, yeah. Apart from even that, I was producing Crisscross Africa. Remember Kafu Day's program? That was Kafu Day. The program all year. It was one of the best programs. Show, you know, Crisscross. He was playing all the hit songs from Africa.
And
Kafu knows music. Kafu Day knows music. Until then, I say, Charlie, as they play the Africans, so make you give me some local stories. To me, looks like graphic times, pioneer more
weird stories.
For on Africa. So me na mature, Kafu no befano de call, na sports for no befano de call. We were just working to try and make an impact. So I was like jack of all trades, but I did my best, I think.
Then Herbert Mensah, Kotoko, CEO, and you were, how do I describe it? Loyalist, Herbert Mensah's shut. Just say me. What can I say to you? Herbert Mensah is never wrong. It's not so Herbert. Okay, say when he should be by. Was it about Prince Edupoku?
I remember everything.
Kotoko play. Okay, so the Herbert Mensah story. How did you meet him? And a year then that just Herbert Mensah was your God on earth. What happened?
I didn't see this question coming. To be honest,
hey, Masa.
I didn't see it coming. I never imagined you were going to
I will ask you about Herbert Mensah.
Yes. I never imagined it.
And someone.
I know, right? I never imagined it. That's a big one. Herbert's story, Those days, it was Kwame Abua. And then all fighting to ensure say Herbert would come to Kotoko. That's now Ura SS appear.
Yeah.
And they're in charge of Kotoko. Now your office no war, Pampas over.
Yeah.
Office one in there. And the Kotoko kind of needed a revolution. Because there's appear old police officer, he didn't have so much time. Kotoko did the cabin break. The BA United Foka, I'm on my bus, Christ Hall, they pounded our bars. Kotoko was in that kind of distress. And if you say, Kotoko, now you're back from too much. So you has me to make and
I will tell you as you go on, I will tell you why we decided to say Mayor Heart and not Kotoko. But you let me tell you.
Na ye nyina I said, yeah, Kotoko ye die ye po bi a oba my that revolution, that spark, you know, and Kabra Bua started mooting the agenda of Herbert.
Correct. No trauma newspaper. Apart from GBs.
African Sports. That was his own paper.
That is for his paper, yeah.
So it's African Sports, now we use GBC now. You know, long story short, Johan of Femi. Those is who were the guys making the airwaves, you know. So Femi,
controversial sports presenters.
You know, those days, Jeshia was Georgia Hotel. I remember very well. Herbert came to the studio with a lot of guys, and he pushed Georgia. That's what we mooted the idea. Yeah, but we all thought, look, this guy is a big guy. He could do the job. You know, his brand, his image, his flow, his confidence. Me, the type of person who loves confidence.
Yeah.
You know me, I know, I just like, I don't care whether you are controversial. I like the confidence. And the thing I know about life is not about whether you are right or you are wrong, but just give me a reason to believe that you are confident. You have something to say. As for whether you are right or wrong, we can debate it. But the fact that you are bold and confident enough to step up, me, I like such people. And I saw his charisma, I saw the Rollins character in him, I saw the Kufuor confidence in him. You know where I'm coming from, with those people. And I was like, no, this guy could do the thing. Long story short, when Kufuor Opokuwari announced him as the chairman, we rallied behind him.
Was it Kufuor Opokuwari or Seitutu?
Opokuwari.
Okay.
Opokuwari.
Which year?
This was 99, 2000.
99, 2000, then was Kufuor Seitutu.
This was 82.
Kufuor Seitutu was sworn in 1999.
Okay,
April.
So it was preceding that. I think it wasn't him who brought Herbert. Herbert, I think we can check that. I don't want to make that an emphatic. We can check that. And Oba Kotoko, then he found me one of the guys. I was, like you said, I was loud, was making my impact the way I could, controversial, you know, running around and all that. I always spoke my mind, you know, I always spoke my mind. You know, I wasn't raised like that. A police neighbor was the new police neighbor, you know, he didn't believe in, you know, curves and those things. So I was just that principle. And so he called me Iron Mike. That's the name Herbert called me. Today,
Iron Mike.
Iron Mike. He still calls me Iron Mike.
Okay.
Because when he got tough, he always knew that I'll be there. You know, radio. So he confided in me. Herbert. You know, that's how close we were. He never traveled without me. Anywhere, everywhere he went. My first travel was in 1999, thereabout in Libreville, Gabon. Kotoko 105 Libreville. Libreville in Gabon. That was the first travel Herbert gave me. And from there, I went with him, with a team to Germany and built on and all that. So we're so close. And he will run it by me. I Mike, look at it. How do we put it on the radio?
And you were a straight, strong defender of Herbert Mensah and everything he did that time.
Yeah. So I catch from the start say, not me near but I was raw. But this far, I'm near but I'm defined and refined. So I draw the line. I don't do holistic. So you mature and you learn going forward. So I was all out for him because I helped bring him and I was responsible to ensure he succeeded at the time. And I'm sure he did his best. The revolution he brought. That time, how many radio stations or football teams had sponsorships? You know, Herbert would speak and the stadium would be full. Even on Wednesdays, the spark and the kind of bite he brought to Ghana football. I'm yet to see anybody equate that. Times have changed. You bet my argument. No? But at the time when he was Herbert at the time, he made the impact he had to make. And that for me is monumental. Along the line, somebody will say we fell out. And
how did that happen? Was it about the Prince Edupo? Because it
was not.
So okay.
It was not.
Okay. So how you fell out? Then you talk about the Prince Edupo.
It was not.
Okay. So what happened?
I want to be very responsible and reasonable of course, for your sake and for our relationship.
You don't want to talk about it, Anna?
No, I would. I don't want to run away from the issues. I remember there was a time, Kotoko had done a game, you know, and I knew a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes to ensuring Kotoko was good. And then Herbert did the right thing and the best thing for Kotoko at the time. I knew it because I was close to him. And idea bakwa, I want me to say, "Met me one auntie, your relationship. I always want to respect the relationship. When I fall out with you, I don't want to talk about how we fell out because I want to protect that relationship. But I'll just give you a gist without having to go in detail.
Into the details
because
of it.
That is to respect our relationship.
That's right.
There was a game we did, and a game that time. No, not for Herbert, but say Kotoko Express. We were marketing Kotoko Express, and I was starting the boardroom. So he used the boardroom to write, to address it. I was just in there every time. We yet terminated no camera do morning, camera about Michelle, and if you near do watch channel pie now. So we're that close. Yeah, but match be. And the ball match ni we no. It was Yampo Franca who called me and said, "Charlie, Hebi wants us to go about this game and the way things played out, and the way he wants to protect Kotoko in a certain way." Your friend, me and I say, to be very honest with you, you guys know how far me and Hebi have come, but the things he wanted me to do and to say, I could not. I told him that I would not. Like I've said, I don't want to open more idea, but I could not say.
You disagreed.
I disagreed. Say I wouldn't say those things. Yeah, I'll say, "Charlie, Herbie wants this thing to run. You know, he relies on you. He trusts him." No, I respect Herbert. I love him. I like his character. That's why I'm with him. But this one will be the question of putting my integrity on the line. I'm not going to do it. I told him straight. And I don't know what y'all told him. I don't know how he heard it. Until the next edition of the Kotoko Express. And every day, I'm kind in the boardroom. Herbert had done a piece in the boardroom and about me and Hayford. And he called us Listowel. I remember vividly because it's Listowel and Hayford. So he did Listowel. That's how he captured our names in the Kotoko Express. And if you say what he wrote about us, for me, it was tantamount to disrespecting our commitment and our relationship with him. And I've told you about my principles. You know, I'm like, no, but all this while we have come this far. If we disagree on something,
one occasion,
you don't put me in the spotlight because that was a well-read, you know, segment.
And everybody who reads it would know, say, "Oh, any BBS."
Yeah, so he did that. And I'm like, no, this one haven't got it wrong. And he, morning sports program, no. And I remember, Minnie Hayford was also picked up the paper, and then we were talking about it. And you know, Hayford said that over and above everything, Kotoko should learn how to put your house in order. Those were his words. You know, I remember those things because they are part of my life now, so I remember them. Kotoko should learn how to put your house in order. So then the lines were drawn. I refused to adhere to what you called me to do. Herbert reacts in the paper. We come on the radio. We also react. And the lines are then drawn. So then, you know, head on. And that and many others started these things. So Mikai one time, my late uncle, Chief Superintendent
Yakubu.
Yeah, so Yakubu. Yep, Yakubu. Phobia. Yep. That I don't know a buffalo boss.
Yeah.
You know, it's my uncle. Yeah. So he called me one time and told me he has intel because he had heard. Say, Herbert is not happy about something I did and that I should be careful when I'm moving around in town and all that. And I called George Amwako. I said, George is what my uncle has told me. If anything happened to me, I was going to hold you guys responsible. And that is the way things fell out. You know, we fell out and all that. And that culminated in my attack.
Ellis Avenue. Say around Capital.
Yeah, it was around the
MTN Hono.
Yeah.
The MTN, what's it saying?
Chopsticks.
The runabout.
Chopsticks.
So Chopsticks is on the other side.
Yes, because
I know about do Chopsticks.
Yes, I was going
because
to
runabout Happy FM and what is it? YFM, what's he saying?
No. They do Chopsticks Junction also. I think it was around that time. And these Kotoko boys that I had worked with for Herbert, you know, they were protecting the team.
Oh, so you knew those who attacked you?
I did. I mean, the guys I may know my age and all that, and but you see,
I thought it was about a comment you had made about a Prince Dupoku who had not been treated fairly by a Kotoko.
You see,
and it was in a disagreement with the stance Mr. Herbert Mesa had taken at that time. And that was why you were attacked.
No, the story is what I've told you.
Okay.
Off camera, I'll tell you the details.
Okay, that's fine.
You know,
that's fine. Many Listowel, yes, Bukasin. Kotoko, Capital Radio, Ashanti DJ, a Tiger PI, Nina and the Eboko, and the Encomodo, and Yasan Kitua. Now, a higher Sitra Powers Akutumansa. My sponsors, Veronica, Kumasi Denyame, Ancora Homes, IPT, Esiebua, Erawaka Kumase, Jenase, Pavasaja, and no so we feel per se. Ye media grass, India plant, silver plants is support woman. Yenye interior decoration. Plants no de eye healthy. Say ebeba wo dem, ebeba wo bath ni nyina. Ye no bedwene ho na ya ma kama. Enti these are my sponsors. And na ye de asetra power Kutumansa ebrew. And I'm really so one of the people I started journalism with. They say, ye me do it. You reckon you can't talk. If I listen one thing that be free capital, there's a man in talk na he's a brother. Enti menen na esi nkonwa bonko. The command the other day, and ya kitwa. 80 years afei na support for Kotoko na dwindle. You were not showing much support for Kotoko as you used to. Emu ana adekwa abruchi ana.
Kotoko no send ye canon, you see your wutu. So that time now about depo. Me papa. Oni papa we friend Magamshi.
Okay.
That time, Kotoko bomb match, and they were all police officers. Kotoko bomb match now he assigning me papa to Kotoko game. Na ye bomb match ni wie. Na Kotoko lose game no. We should all be sleeping.
Because only mood or day by
you should all be sleeping. See, those were the days when Kotoko would be like awesome at the end. The passion, the drive, the excitement, everything about Kotoko was that thing. You heard Kotoko and you were like, something is happening. Those were the days. They were into it proper. And everybody who was into it transferred what they were into, i.e. Kotoko, to everything in their home. You didn't have an option. And you see my sisters, Sandra and those guys, when they were here, you see Sandra and the Kana Kotoko flags. So it was like,
you're born into
that's Kotoko. The thing. And I don't mind that passion to support Herbert the way we did. But when the attacks came and then on radio, you just had to draw a line. Much as we were being professional as a sports journalist, you could not be independent-minded.
This was which year?
This was, I think, 99, 2000. Around that time. I'm not
between sure. 2000 and 2002.
Yeah, around those times.
Then President Kufuor became president. MPP came to power. You were on the Daybreak Capital show hosted by Kosi Asise.
Daybreak had always been Kwame Ofori-Kwegu. Kosi was doing the drive at Capital.
But Kosi, when I was on the morning show, Kosi was the host.
Yes, it's the Capital. Daybreak started with Darrell Shen. When Darrell left, Darrell called US and Yakofa 11C.
Yeah.
No, I think we did Kwame Adinkra first.
It's either Kwame Adinkra first.
Yeah.
That are not C-board driver now.
C was GBC. And
see the Kwame Ameshia or
Capital briefly, but okay. C was a GBC. And Darrell Shen called Yakofa Kwame from Otek, Kofa Adinkra from Otek, and Kwame by Capital. Around that time, Kwame called Fox. You know,
okay. Yeah, Kwame called Fox.
Yeah, Afro was always with his judgment.
Yeah.
When he was setting up the station. To Kwame called Fox, and Yakofa C
by.
Yakofa C by, and he was doing so well. And then there was a gap between the mid-morning, between 10 and 12 before the news. And I think that's where, I can't be very sure, that's where Kosi came and C was shifted to made the branch. He actually started the branch. And then Kwasi left, I think, the drive for, I think, Magic Sam. And all, but Kwasi did mostly drive. Coffee was always just Thursdays, the crisscross and all that. Now later,
but
NBY.
What I'm talking about here, you, Ekwesi Edua, Trewole, and me.
Yeah.
And of Dusipo.
Yeah.
But for Dusipo, Ekwesi Edua, after mentioning the headlines, they would leave. Now the three of us, a newspaper discussion. Why are you happy? Why are you happy? Tell them. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to reminisce those
days. I'm
not
sure already boy. Just almost met my own MPP. Almost so saw me and this.
I remember vividly. I remember.
Yeah, but now radio this one.
I think our fight started on radio. Your top started on radio. So.
Yeah, just say because I said one morning be now we na honorable escape for from seminal residency former president Kufuor.
Yeah.
That mean that time na the politics by corruption allegation.
Yeah.
Dr. Charles Rekubo be making that allegation against Kwesi Pratt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And America say you were bashing Dr. Rekubo. And I said journalists should also be checked. Yeah, you're making allegations against politicians and other public officials. So I gave it to you guys. As President Kufuor was in the region for an event, so he listened to us that morning. No, say otherwise, because why are they pa? I'm a journalist. So most more a role or some more responsible. There's a heated day.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
The racial fuller, honorable Oseko Eku.
Yeah, then former sports minister. Yeah, then former.
Okay, that morning.
I remember.
Your friend or say or call watch rules ain't no. And I ask for CEO and can radio. So say I don't also can also as well okay. Because sometimes near me but we will fight. But the impression was created that you were anti-MPP.
Yeah.
MPP.
Yeah.
That was why when you decided to contest for Sunday parliamentary primary, remember people said
I remember. Yeah. I'm so retentive. I'm loving the interview with you because you know, and I have always said the best friends I have
conversation in the interview.
The conversation. I have said that the best friends you can always have are your friends from the past. Somebody will be struggling to ask me these questions, you know, and I will not be opening up. But somebody asked about finding form. Free.
So what I said was so honorable escape for the COVID memoir.
Yeah.
The original minister and the mayor.
Ultimately they became my buddies.
Yeah. Because maybe Honorable Kofi Ghana a bar studio.
He sued me. He's the first person who ever sued me.
He sued you.
Yes.
Yes,
he did. Throughout my journey as a journalist from '97, the first and last person who has ever sued me was Honorable Kofi Juma. But in the end, I was eating from his house.
I see.
Anytime I got into trouble when he was there, I just pick up a phone and call, and then I'll be sorted. The one person whose office as mayor has profited me to the core is Honorable Kofi Juma. Okay. Beyond him is Kojo Bonsu. Kojo Bonsu is like my brother. You know, Kojo Bonsu is my brother. We've been like that for the past whatever. Today, Yakasa. He wants me to come to China. We are like brothers. Even when I lost my primaries, I came and I was doing his PR for him with Sami Jemfi. There's no time Sami will go on radio without me and him having to compare notes. Even when I had lost my primaries.
And so you were considered an NDC person.
Yeah.
Was that right?
Oh, yeah. I heard many people say that. But you see, there's something I always want to stay away from relative to how far we have come in the heat of the revolution. You know, we are coming from the same family, extended family, and then we are now, you know, if you study, you know how it is. So like my uncle, if I should say, from my mother's side of my place, he was a medical superintendent that time in the heat of the revolution. They set him ablaze. They set the whole man ablaze.
Then the revolution, no, and can you also support anything? a year the originators of the revolution.
That's the point I'm making to you, say. It is the reason the perception still remains a perception.
But you were seen very critical of the Kufuor administration. So say you never see anything good in what the government that time did.
That time, the people who ever gave Kufuor opportunity was myself and Herbert.
Okay, there was an interview on
series of them. Series of them. The people who ever gave President Kufuor opportunity, platform, airwaves, interviews, was me and Herbert. Those days, tell me, who had the strongest newsroom in Ashanti region? Radio, prominence, by way of the... What's Capital? So by GBC, GBC has this traditional idea, so, and then a state-owned idea. And that time, apart from Capital, it was Otech. Those were the days before Love FM came, before Fox FM, before all the other stations came and all that. It was a Capital.
But I also learned that President Kufuor was supposed to come for an interview, and the power that be wanted you guys to cancel the interview, sort of. And he came there, stayed there for a long time before he could be allowed to be interviewed.
That's a fallacy.
It didn't happen.
That's a fallacy. Okay. If you had the opportunity to ask President Kufuor right now, and thank God, maybe when you guys are putting the, I'll give you pictures of me and President Kufuor, me and President Kufuor in an interview, me and Yahoo, Charles Brafanakwa, me and Hayford, giving him the opportunity that time all over the place, from the studio premises to the interview and some interviews, exclusives that Hayford did for him and all that. The thing really is not about anybody having to have that kind of
opposition,
if you like. The thing really is about Capital as a station. The perceptions and everything is about Capital Radio as a station. Even today, how many years down the line, people still perceive Capital as NDC. To the extent that they even said Mrs. Ajima was related to the late but they are far apart. This one is from the central region. This one is from the Ashanti region.
And she was Ajimai because of the husband's name.
Yes, Mr. Ajimai, who was a lecturer at KNUST. So that was the perception. I remember one time she went for a program and a government appointee described her as the NDC woman who sits there and manages Capital Radio against her. She was bitter with that till she died because somebody painted her. And it's more about the directors and the owners of the station. People were trying to. There's more to it. I don't know if it's a tricky area, but there's more to it.
So after Capital, why did you leave Capital? And where did you go from Capital?
I was in South Africa for the World Cup in 2014. Many Kwambani, any other guys were in South Africa in 2014. 2010, actually. 2010. And when I got back, then I got, Benito was my friend, Lands Commission, and he indicated, so, the team number, Dr. Akiki Sarpong. And Dr. Sarpong was looking to recruit and Kufuor officer who had a know-how to try and propel his administration. And we had a discussion, and they called Dr. Sarpong. It was the first time I met him in 2010. We had a discussion. Kwame Banyako was there. Dr. Patrick Kufuor was there. Beninti was there. George Amponsa Judy was there. Operations, Mr. Enes Owusu-Ansah, he was there. And they were looking to fill the gap for communications, public relations, and supporters manager. And they had spoken to people and was like, they had to talk to me. And and Dr. Sarpong invited me to the house. And the Kotoko in you, we decided like, look, that's it. So I took up that job to work for Kotoko as a spokesperson with Dr. Sarpong. And it's one of the offices and the positions I revere to the core. I love it. I cherish it. And one of me will be possible, to try. Maybe in Accra, I was living in Accra. there's something we are doing, and he had me to go to be possible and see. So when I was coming from Accra, I go straight and send me back, which is why I told you I was in town. So I went to be possible to try and look at something we are doing there. So that's the Kotoko thing and how far it's brought me and Dr. Sarpong and everybody else. So I took it and I was like, and then there's something very controversial.
How is working for Kotoko like? Especially when you are the mouthpiece, you have to weigh BBA and PR also circles. Kotoko circles. Circles office.
Yeah.
How was it like working for football enthusiasts? I'll be a fanatic. Just it's Kotoko or nothing else. How was it like?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's exciting at the same time. There are two sides of the divide. My position, Kwame Banu and Patrick Kufuor actually did sports administration as part of their PhD and been into smart administrator. So these guys almost they book, so to speak, and they were running Kotoko at the time. So you needed to fit in. And I had done sports administration in Frankfurt in 2010 in Germany. So I also had that, and I still have that kind of understanding into football administration and all that. So we were coming with the book kind of thing. Now, my position, it's the first, and I think it's the last, at least for now, because Dr. Sarpong made me the public relations officer, which comes along with the communications, but he added supporters manager to my office. So apart from being this, I was also the manager of all the supporters of Atlantic because it was so critical to ensure, say, in your dealings, you had to deal well. Because there's so many tools that you possibly could step on in your journey. Now, Kotoko is a very, very controversial institution. Made up of people who have diverse interests, positive, negative, weird, unimaginable interest.
People worship the club.
Apart from
like their life depends on it.
Apart from worshiping it and loving it, people feel so unreasonably entitled. Check my words well. They feel unimaginably entitled just because so they position themselves in that. He said, "Oh yeah, bibi fa Kotoko one. When you do that, we understand baby no na sebi one fa nimdia anto ho you kind of veer off. Yeah, time no. You try and say move away from the mass kind of we try to run away from it. That's why we had a problem. And I had the biggest of the problems because I was always talking. And the biggest problem I had, which problems I love now looking back, is because I had problems with my colleagues in the media. Sebio, the journey you and I have embarked on to this time, most of our colleagues in the media cannot talk to us anyhow. It's mean to me in continental radios, and I mean, apart from some known as started ban, I should respect that. Look, we have come this far. But Sebi, and then the media guys are so disrespectful. Some of them are so arrogant.
But most of you guys were seen in that light that time.
If I say they are disrespectful, yes, I will not insult anybody.
Anyway,
I'll make my point based on what I think are the facts.
Being assertive and being rude.
You disagree with me, we don't fight. We don't call names. People sit on radio today and all they do is to call names. You know what I mean?
That's the crystal difference. Allegations.
Weird ones. And some of the things, some of my colleagues, I'm not bitter, I'm not hurt, I love you because we are back as friends. When I was doing this job, and you are like, because of Kotoko. But this is the thing. This is the thing. And we had intel too. Time near the book Kotoko. You know what we realized? You realize that Kotoko problems are not a man Kotoko bedeka. You be person you be ton ye dan. Pampaso. You be check Kotoko bas. De bia Kotoko de kasa and yes Kotoko de kano. Dr. Sarpong was doctor in finance. He understands those things. Patrick Kufuor we football administration. Kwame Banu akon meso in football school. So we try to ensure that you structure Kotoko away from the masses kind of administering Kotoko. When the problem never no. For instance, before we came, the top player of Kotoko 300 million that time. Now I signed 3-year contract. Now what time 300 million? Now they are units. Cash. We are for now becoming salary and other benefits. Units about 1 year of the 3 years. You say next season, units into me pulling weight. And Kotoko your palm units so uncle. You can find Scanash. Or the 300 million local. Once I offer another batch of players, you pay them. These are many of them. It's not just one. Into also I'm performing. No, also this cannot record. So we decided to pro-rata the team. So when we decided to do, we started to do pro-rata system of managing the team. Then we had a problem. Your 5 units are what 3 years?
Every year we have 100,000.
Jema 100 now. You know we bought 1 year no. Next year's one to me and Masa. Yeah, in fact 200 million in count. You couldn't hear the Napo for floor. And most of our Kotoko supporters had interest in which players came to Kotoko and which players had to be managed. That is one way we were saving money. The next way was sponsorship. Ubana me today na me Kotoko profiling of players. Dr. Sarpong nam tuka kope sponsors. Kwamban me akompachi go for the Benenti. For me, that is the most solid administration we ever had because it's backed by evidence. Kwame the Beba, Ben the Beba, Patrick the Beba,
You were the management team.
Yes.
But who were the board members?
Oh, yes, so many of them. Benadze, the late Alaji, Bamed, so many of them. Alaji was later, I think. Until what we did, that's how we saved money. One, from player transfers and all of that. The next thing was to do the PR search that we got the supporters in the stadium. And how you get the supporters into the stadium for Kotoko matches, it's not about going to radio and saying Momna Stadium. It's a bookwork. The bookwork stems from how the variables, i.e. the players, would deliver on the pitch. How we did it. And let me tell you this. I don't know if I should say, but I'll say it for your sake. When we were in management, Dr. Sarpong brought so many coaches, Ebomans, and other coaches who didn't perform. And then ultimately, we settled on Maswa Kunedu from Wa All Stars. The senior teachers Wa All Stars. We bought him. Kotoko had scouts, people who were behind the scenes, recommending players to Kotoko, whom people did not know. These are experienced coaches with different teams.
Who had no interest in who plays for Kotoko because Uncle GBB won.
Yes.
They are neutral scouts are not interested in some getting Kotoko the best.
Thank you. They were like consultants behind the scenes. So Dr. Sarpong will position them, about 4 or 5 of them. They are senior coaches.
Every match. Every league match.
Every season, they would look for the players and we go and buy. It's a okay time now. Most of the players were new players. They were first division players. Second division, Baba Rahman, Mike Lanaba, Michael Mensah, Awal Mohammed, Yafrem Pong, and what do you call it? A friend is Bene Champon. These were guys on top of my head I can memorize because we just brought them from, so to speak, lesser teams. And we brought Maswell. Yeah, but yeah, recruitment. In Kotna, baby, you are a question. It almost come unfair. People also hope because of the altitude. No one training with the we did science to appreciate where players to go and camp. We question the now altitude no was no back bebo baba yara. Or but the no 1 hour, baba 2 hours. It was science. The players never jana about because a press now. Baba Rahman, Mr. Baba Rahman, Mike Lanaba, which my pressing the midfield. So we're always on top.
What was the result?
Check the records.
We
won the league. Okay. We won the Super Cup. Beyond Maswell, Didi Dramani took over and he built on what we had built on. He won the league twice in succession.
Okay.
Check our records.
You guys delivered.
We delivered massively. On top of that, that is when the Tititon policy, if you ever heard it, started with Dr. Sarpong. On top of that, because we had done football administration, we knew that players may come to be very quick. You took off a player and a bar. Part of the negotiation was that we are capable of transferring you. You better turn wako. was a way of raising money.
Ghana.
Okay. We were raising money and raised money and sold more players. We sold more than 10, 11, 12, about 17 players. Yeah, they come from Division 1. They don't be G League, Edgy Super Cup. And yes, I'm tall, more raising funds, any different Kotoko course, I didn't manage a team. No. But you know what? Anytime we sold, we made sure we had a replacement.
Okay.
That's why we brought Ochaya. We brought Makedusei. Is it Kobledusei? Kobledusei. We brought Rashid Smiler for Awa Mohammed. No, we need a shishe. Until scouts know how we are human behind the scenes. So yes, offer Aba from TP Mazembe from Niaje. Midfielder ben oh. Need their man scouts no. Then they are looking. Niaje position when they were fit. Because only known you can't sell him. To sell Niaje, bring this one. Sell Awa Mohammed, bring Kobledusei. Sell Kobledusei, bring a friend is saying. I'm trying to remember one of those central defenders. Baba Rahman, Ket didn't buy no. Now sir. In the same room. Anytime you back camp. You both we are Baba Rahman, Eko, Kofa Ochaya, every Uganda. So that's how we were doing the Kotoko thing. And apart from we were raising money, we're selling the players, we're getting sponsorship, we're making the team attractive. Until whatever happened, and then we left office. Once Dr. Sarpong left, me, I have my loyalty. I've told you, I've been consistent in telling you that. I'm like, this is the man who, when I was in South Africa, waited for me, gave me a job. Me did you want to if you become my party area and I'm a didi. You know, I'm in the cover and all that.
But people also had issues with Dr. KK Sarpong's human relations. As in how he dealt with supporters' leadership. No, if there was the occasion so new bedding komwa, the impression was that he looked down on them.
One example.
Me obi ka try me say was say Kotoko onye ne say omo de milk ni esichire egu apampan so to. And there was something he told Alaji Inje. So Alaji Inje had mentioned it on, I think, Angel FM. Me refer exactly what it was, but that was the impression. Then Kufuor a creative say he saw himself say maybe a walk school do maybe a level do. Any supporters be, especially when he sees say be when you're educated a level of education in Israel. The way he treated them.
See, I have told you, and I've been consistent. Semi-opposition to advance. I adduce same position. I am not in a position to convince anybody to appreciate my stance.
Yeah.
That does not, or this one say I am right and everybody else is wrong.
It's wrong.
I mean, that is my life. You know me, that's my life.
Yeah.
Enti deɛ me meka ene ne me ye am fi se me ya e de ebu ne de be ma obi amene ne di no I'll do it but enya me asede say nipa no betem ase. I don't worry my head about people's and your opinions and views. You can't convince everybody. For instance, the example of say Onya Kotoko say Edi Kotoko. I would say the same thing today because I told you.
But people thought that he was referring to
people
Obiana or managing a supermarket, and a supermarket the line of business. When you say to sell milk any anyway, that's just by the by. And who a brother of my Nana Owusu-Prempeh.
Yep.
The Dr. Juan dance here greatly.
Even you put Atapoko here. Mr. Atapoko talk about KK. You will see what he will tell you.
Yeah. At least the two of you, I have witnessed opportunities. I have no doubt in my mind that he's a good person.
Let me tell you something.
See.
Of all the things I have done in life, you know, my catcher said that one of the things I appreciate and I love to the core the Kotoko business opportuned me by him. When MPP came to power, we called it possible. You know, people were
2016.
Yes, Sarpong his days, his GMPC boss, why am away, he's doing that for his boys and that. And somebody was asking, you know, Listowel. Let me tell you what. When I got to the boss, a friend baby, not to listen. This is your father telling you. I know you speak well. I know you are bold and confident. I know what you can do. This is Dr. Sarpong talking. I want you to go and read law for me. Till. I'm going to foot the bill.
Wow.
From start to finish, just go to school with your head for me.
Wow.
Stay away from everything.
God bless
finish
you.
the school and then come. At the University of London for my bachelor's in law, from day one admission till I finished the 3-year program,
it was him.
It was him paying.
And
you know what he did? He just go to school. He had money for me. And then he commissioned Benenti, Dr. Patrick Kufuor. They were contributing. And to Dr. Sarpong will give him money, Benenti will give him money, Kwambani will give him money, Patrick Kufuor will give him money. All they were doing was that, Juma, old boy. That's the team I had. You know,
amazing.
So he wanted to build me, and that's what we did. And when I finished my bachelor's, they were all excited. The question then was, should I go and do my master's in the law in the UK or to go to the US, considering my family's in the US? Back and forth, give and take. I got admission to do in the UK. I got admission to do in the US. Dr. Sarpong I said, no, but you cannot leave the family for that long. That's how I ended up with the law in the US.
In the US.
Fees and what he could do, he did to the best of his knowledge. I'm with him in his house. 2 days ago before I came, I was with him. And which is why I ended up at the apostle. This is the man I'm talking to you about. We need to tell me, can I say?
But your God and
yes, it's my godfather. I say it everywhere. Kotoko. He wasn't paying us anything, but he realized and said, oh, and when he left, we left in broad daylight solidarity.
Yeah.
We sacrificed whatever who's ever handed Kotoko and said, I resign. Now wait me. Or Juma. Now was him in painting, I resign. And the things that went behind the scenes when he said he had resigned. You know me and that me number Montino or Boja, who your friend, you know it. Me number GGHM or my express conference or my solid. Have you seen that? So I go, if I want to have access, he sees me, he calls me. He asks, why don't you come? But at the time when Dr. Sarpong free honor, we left with him. And I can tell you, Ohene appreciates why we left with him. Because Ohene Ankasano, he needs that kind of loyalty. That is the thing I'm telling you about Dr. Sarpong. Eunice, most people have asked me for interviews. Most people.
Yeah, I know.
But when you told me, I said, listen, Maba, I'm going to Accra. But maybe Accra, I'll let you know. Me see one guy Meba. Maybe you can say me mama me train.
Yeah.
You call from me. It is the friendship and the love between us. Nobody will get up and say, "But you interview mommy." Na ma kasa me kwa Accra me ba me frɛ. Na ma force me ba. Na ma ba be train. Na ma kɔ na ma san ba. Ma no abe you interview. I don't do that.
I know.
Sabi, you sell yourself the way you are bought. But me and you is beyond that. So for me, that's the consistency of life. You don't have it, you're not worth being a friend.
That's very important. Loyalty is very, very important. And so, I don't have a DJ, a chairperson.
Mekai said, Samuel Eni was my friend, very good friend. The late Samuel Eni, very, very good friend. When he passed, GJ never had a chairman until Nanaya.
But when Enin passed, Nanaya was the acting.
Yeah, Nanaya was the acting.
Because Nanaya was his vice.
Yes, Nanaya was the acting. Subsequent from that, Nanaya became the GJA chair.
Yeah.
You know, until I contested. Because Nanaya, time, I don't know what was wrong. You know, Nanaya is a very smart guy. Madam for pa, Abna, Madam for pa. along the line into his second term, I realized that the elections were up, and he didn't show interest in defense and contesting.
So you went unopposed?
I went unopposed.
Okay.
So one contested.
Who was your vice?
The late what do you call it?
Elizabeth
Kankambwedu.
GNA.
She was my vice. Yeah. So, I mean, people were talking to me. I spoke to other people, and they were like, "Why not?" So I spoke to Dr. Sarpong. I always speak to him. And I spoke to him, and he was like, "Okay, so Kotoko, we are almost done with Kotoko." So, so I took the shot, and I became.
How was it? Are there things you can point out to say, to prepare the Ashanti GJ in a way?
From where I took off to where I left, I think I did something very monumental. It can't monumental, it's empirical. You can see, which is the first ever office kind in the country where you ever had a regional GJ office, which I started with the former Ashanti Regional Minister, Eric Kotoko.
Oh, the Prez Center.
The Prez Center.
Is he a Dragu?
I have no idea. I heard the current guy, Kofi, great guy,
Kofi,
and Beatrice Progabra, they are my guys. Beatrice is just like my sister. And they were talking to me about it. But from the time I left, a lot of things happened within those 8 years, which could have been invested in saving that property. But the way I left, I didn't have some interaction with the previous administration. And now we need a way of trying to reach out and say, let me put my influence in there.
We had an engagement with President Nanado at the RCC. He had come for a tour, and we asked him about it. He's not even aware there's such a project. In Chokonkaya or Beshe. Na wahwese obenya fansa abeboa. I do not know say executives neti omo ka na dey.
And I don't forgot about that question the same day you guys asked him. No, I'm being very frank with you.
Yes,
because of the way the project started. Nanado at this one as no. Untimi nkoshia press conference in Kasey yes press center or some hwajuma. He has no way of even doing it. It's not because he didn't want to do it. Just not want to me. I'm being very frank with you.
I didn't hear.
Because of the way you started project no. Me and I'm honorable Kotoko, and I respect him for that. Etnasi. And your fair architect. And your fair whoever. And
yes, here press center. Or see baby. He got
an architect. I didn't have all the guys. And they called me and they took me there. You see, with my executives. And then we saw it and we went back into office and saw how and put together how he was going to do it. And we started. No mobile, but we had those kinds of internal setbacks and all. But I'm a type, if I put my hand to the plow, I don't look back. Then you make a than to stop in the middle of the journey. Because who knows, I might succeed. Until I don't jump out of the sinking boat. You know why? Because the boat might not sink after all. But if you were jumping, you are sure you are going to perish. I want to sail, no matter how it goes, than to just, I don't give up like that. So I said, let's do it. Let's go ahead. It's meaning from start to finish. But when my immediate guys took over for me, nobody showed me that respect and dignity to find out to say, Charlie, you left this. What's going on? So I also stayed in my corner and started going to my school. And I forgot about it. And Kofi called me. He calls me all the time. And we just trying. And I met Eric Kotoko in New York before I came. And we talked about it. And then the question was about we can sit down and talk. It's not to redeem it, but it's to be able to explain to whoever and see how, but that's one of the things I left behind for the GJ.
And like you mentioned, the soiree.
Yes. Never in the history of the GJ, not even in Accra, has the king opened up to the media. He called me and says, he's one of the chiefs called me and said, "Oh, here person you Bafo is my father. Bafo is my father. I go to his house like this. Bibi ameye bia, this is my friend Bafo. Obi ja bibia be hedi ama. When I was launching the Prez Foundation was there. When I was doing the media speech with Anas, Manasseh, and those kinds of things, Shamima Muslim and those guys. He was there. Bibi ameye bia, when I talked to Bafo and say, Bafo, I want to do this. I said, why not? Or family send then he comes. So one Bafo say, because and I'll tell you why that relationship came about. Because of his why you know maybe I'm not so with your office so that's why we had the first press meeting with the king, and he even gave us Solly and all the media. It was the first time. Equity is a treasurer. Maybe it's only me like, and that was the first time.
The following week they call
Seychelles.
Then they say
Seychelles.
Seychelles.
Seychelles too is something you've reminded me.
Yeah.
They called me and said, "Oh, he say you call Seychelles, fan central for Bay," and I called you, and I called Kwame Adinkra, and I called the
You called me Spiogabra
and Joe Ewa. Yeah, you are the guys that put on it.
Kwame joining.
You are the guys that put on it.
Yeah.
And I left.
It was a series of
and
us.
I had a problem with my executives because you know what? Eunice, where is a membership? I'm saying this today. Eunice, where is a membership? Joe Ewa, who the membership here? A friend is saying, Kwame Adinkra membership point. Spiogabra. So I had a fight with my executives because I had, but I told them when they asked me about Seychelles with the king, the information I had from Mr. Kufuor and his secretary.
That is fine.
No, the press secretary, my good father.
Who was the press secretary?
Oh, this he's still. I think he's still there.
Press secretary was Kofi.
Kofi was the press secretary.
No. There was GNA man.
Yes.
Only Obio.
Yes, this man.
The tall man.
No. I think he's still there. Some short man. Nice.
Ivor.
No, it's not Ivor.
Oh, a chief of staff.
Chief of staff.
Kofi Bedu. Daddy.
Kofi Bedu. He called and said, "Charlie, I'm going to say, money be about my eye." And I'm saying, "Why not?" That's why I called you guys. That time I'm in Borga. I was in Borga. That's why I called you guys. I went to Borga. What you more call Seychelles, the fun you had and the way the king took care of you and everything. And the beer was I was proud that it happened. But before that, one of the things was when I had another problem with my GJ. When the Kesman issue came up,